Today we are going to learn something that can really change the way you speak English. We are going to talk about phrasal verbs. Many learners feel nervous when they hear this term. They think phrasal verbs are confusing. They think the meanings are hard to remember. However, I want to show you a natural way to learn them. Instead of memorizing long lists, we will learn them through real-life examples and simple explanations. Let me start with a quick question. Have you ever listened to native speakers and felt lost? You understand every word, but when they combine words, the meaning becomes unclear. This usually happens because of phrasal verbs. Native speakers use them all the time in daily conversations. If you learn them step by step, your listening improves and your speaking sounds more natural. First, let us understand the idea. A phrasal verb is a verb plus a small word like up, out, on, off, in, or over. When you combine them, the meaning changes. For example, the word take has one meaning, but take off has a completely different meaning. So instead of translating word by word, try to learn the full expression. Let us start with our first phrasal verb, wake up. Wake up means to stop sleeping. It is very common in daily life. For example, I usually wake up at 7 in the morning. Another example, I woke up late today because I slept very late. You can also say, I wake up early when I have an important day. You see, this is simple and natural. Now let us move to get up. Get up means to leave your bed. For example, I wake up at 7, but I get up at 7:10. Another example, I got up quickly because I heard a loud noise. So wake up is about opening your eyes. Get up is about leaving your bed. Next, we have turn on. Turn on means to start something like a light or device. For example, I turn on my laptop before studying. Another example, please turn on the fan. It is hot. You can also say, she turned on the TV to watch the news. Now the opposite is turn off. Turn off means to stop a device. For example, I turn off my phone before going to sleep. Another example, do not forget to turn off the lights. These two phrasal verbs are very useful. Let us learn look for. Look for means to try to find something. For example, I am looking for my notebook. Another example, she looked for her phone everywhere. You can also say, I am looking for a good English course. Next is find out. Find out means to discover information. For example, I want to find out more about this topic. Another example, he found out the answer after searching online. You can also say, I will find out and tell you tomorrow. Now let us talk about give up. Give up means to stop trying. For example, do not give up learning English. Another example, she gave up after trying many times. You can also say, I will never give up my goal. This phrasal verb is very motivating. Next is pick up. Pick up means to lift something. For example, I picked up the book from the floor. It can also mean to collect someone. For example, I will pick you up at the bus stop. It can also mean to learn something casually. For example, I picked up some new phrases from that video. Let us learn come back. Come back means to return. For example, I will come back after lunch. Another example, she came back home late. You can also say, please come back tomorrow. Next we have go on. Go on means to continue. For example, please go on speaking. Another example, the lesson went on for an hour. You can also say, I will go on practicing every day. Now let us learn put on. Put on means to wear something. For example, I put on my jacket because it was cold. Another example, she put on her shoes quickly. This phrasal verb is often used for clothes. Next is take off. Take off means to remove something. For example, I took off my hat. It also means when a plane leaves the ground. For example, the plane took off on time. This phrasal verb has more than one meaning. Let us continue with run out. Run out means to have no more of something. For example, we ran out of water. Another example, I ran out of time. You can also say, my battery ran out. Next phrasal verb is call back. Call back means to return a phone call. For example, I will call you back later. Another example, she called me back in the evening. This is very common in daily communication. Now we have hang out. Hang out means to spend time relaxing. For example, I hang out with my friends on weekends. Another example, we hung out at a cafe. This phrasal verb is used in casual conversation. Let us learn work out. Work out means to exercise. For example, I work out every morning. It can also mean to solve a problem. For example, we worked out the answer together. Now let us see how we can use these in a short story. This morning I woke up early. I got up and turned on my laptop. Then I looked for my notebook. After that, I found out I left it in my bag. Later, I put on my shoes and went outside. I hung out with my friend. We talked and worked out a small problem together. Then I came back home and turned off my phone before studying. You see, this sounds natural. This is how native speakers talk. They use phrasal verbs naturally in conversation. The best way to learn phrasal verbs is to practice them in your daily routine. Talk about your day. For example, I woke up early, got up, and turned on my computer. This helps you remember easily. Try to learn a few phrasal verbs each day. Use them in sentences. Repeat them aloud. Listen to English conversations. Slowly, they will become natural for you. Thank you for joining me today.